recording. Alright, cool. Wait. Whoops. I have an idea. Filters. Noise gate. There we go. Alright. Move that down to the elbow cam. Desktop audios and everything's working. There. Alright. And we're back. I'm doing a bit of renovations here. Changing this so it's fully surrounded like this. And so unlucky people with elytra can get knocked down into there. I'm also probably going to finally instate like a proper door instead of what I have going here. And a new docking bay, maybe like a wing off going that way. Rest assured, something will happen. Now, ooh, what to talk about. I just finished soldering up a bunch of batteries. Because I do that. Because reasons. What can I talk about? So last time we hacked a bit. Did some sick hacking skills. But this time, what will we do? Because I'm not sure. He also ranted about the annoyance at his Apple. I could rant about the American medical system, but that's old news. Everybody knows how terrible that is. Wait a second, did I do something wrong? It goes up there, that goes up there. It goes up there. Oh no. It's off slightly, god dang it. Cause 3 and this works on a base 2. How to fix this? I could. I know. Ooh, I have an idea. That's not a good idea. I have a great idea. Let's make it bounce around both sides. Huh. Well, the more you know. Now the question, do we have it going down? Yeah, let's have it pointing down instead of pointing up. That's a lot of creepers. That is just a little bit too many creepers, I think. Just a couple too many creepers for my taste. Like, usually, I'm good with only around, like, 7 creepers max. And that was more than 7 creepers, and man... Why does creepers have to be like that, you know? You know what I mean. Oh, I'm not off to a very strong start. You know, I was actually talking about it a bit recently. Like, someone else was streaming, and I was saying you gotta keep the audience's attention, otherwise they're gonna, like, start watching other streamers. And here I am, just sort of mumbling to myself as I build which is pretty much a sin as far as I can tell when it comes to doing this sort of thing, because you can't mumble, else like bad things happen. It's just not very good. I actually got a new streaming software, OBS, because last time, as you may have heard, I missed that. I'm missing so many bits. I realize I don't care. Last time, as you may have heard, I actually messed around with somebody, did some sick hacks, and by that we mean exploited the game engine, timing on scaffolding, but still, my point stands. Well, I don't have a point yet, I just realized, but hey, it probably still stands. Oh, I'm not off to a good start today. My brain is just a soggy mess today. Alright, so there was a problem last time where, like, if you talk, I would be able to hear fine. People, but, like, people actually watching the video would not hear a thing. Which meant that, well, it was kind of sucky for the people who were talking last time. This time, however, I've switched over from the inbuilt Raiden video card. I am not good today. Why are words hard? You know when I made the joke a little bit ago about like how words are hard? Yeah, they are. My God. Just wow. This is like terrible for me. I can already feel the viewership numbers going down. They're plummeting faster than light. Okay, let's just take a second to meditate here. Alright, so I switched over from AMD Raiden's inbuilt streaming and recording software and over to actual dedicated one, OBS. So it's less of a strain on my system. Also, it's better. Like by a lot. I can set up filters and all that and choose what was recorded, what's not independently. All sorts of fancy things that just aren't a possibility if you don't use Raiden. If you don't use OBS. Best free recording software ever. I first started using it just like for V classes because like I'm a poor student, so give me your money. Because I'm poor and I'm a student. So I would never do something like spend money on anything and such. I learned of OBS because, well, it's great. You can set up custom screen things, filters, all sorts of great stuff that you'd want if you're streaming. So, what to talk about? You know what? Pockets. We all have them, but you know what? Women get screwed over hard. You've probably heard, if you've ever mentioned the word pocket to a woman, or really a female of any kind, even if it's like a dog, they'll begin to get annoyed. That's because these things have the tiniest goddamn pockets, right? They're like, oh, I can fit half a paper coupon in here. Surely that's enough. Because girls don't need to have pockets. It's just annoying. It's almost as bad as the American healthcare system. In fact, it pretty much is the American healthcare system. That's right. Small pockets are the American healthcare system. The problem there is that I'm not wrong as well. That's they have literally like no, we're talking about the American healthcare system because and the problems and why it hasn't changed yet. Because There's so much stupidity when it comes to America, and I'm going to cover it. So the American healthcare system, very basic idea. It's like car insurance, right? Either you buy from these insurance companies, so when you break your arm falling off a swing set, you go and don't have to become instantly bankrupt, or you don't, and you have to pay out of your pocket. And that's never, never, never ends well for anyone when it comes to insurance of any kind. So, you might be wondering, well, why hasn't this changed? Surely people want free healthcare, like in Canada, and a large number do. A large number really, really do, and they hate it. But they're like everything, the idiots ruin it for everyone. Because a lot of people think that it actually costs. Now, the thing about this is, it isn't like, oh, you gotta pay like 20 bucks or something or whatever, and you're good to go. You break an arm, you pay your 20 bucks or whatever. And you're on your way. In the States, you break your arm and you're looking at like a couple $100,000. Upwards of a couple $100,000, usually around 100,000, which is just insane. And this is why socialized healthcare is better. But the reason why it hasn't changed that much yet is because a large number of people think it has to cost that much. They're told, well, of course it costs a couple $100,000. How easy do you think it is to fix an arm? And the answer is, with the right training, easy. Really, really, really easy. It's like insultingly easy. You set the hardest thing you could have happen, right? Worst possible thing. The bone is shattered into, the bone is not clean broke, so that you got splinters and stuff everywhere, and it's protruding out of the skin, right? That's the worst thing. As far as I know, I'm not a doctor. Don't take my word on this. Because, like, if it's not protruding out of the skin, you still got to do surgery. If it's not, like, if it's a clean break, if it's, like, for example, your forearm, right? That's a really common one to break. You break your forearm, you break one of the two bones there, so it's one bone, it's a clean snap, and there's no torn skin. That just means they gotta take an x-ray of it, look at how it's broken, set it correctly. That usually involves just pulling it slightly apart and pushing it back, and not pulling it slightly apart. They do some technique, it gets it back set, and then they put your arm in a cast and say, don't smash your arm between two cinder blocks again, you idiot. And that's usually it. The most expensive part is the doctor's time, because the plaster they use is usually some sort of variant on plaster of Paris, which is uh-oh, that sucks. Looks like the bad thing is back. Let's see if there's enough open slots on my VPN in service. Oh no, there is. Oh, actually, yeah, I think there is. It's not going to be the best ping, but it's probably decent. I want to introduce everyone to Proton VPN. This is not sponsored, because I would probably get sued if I didn't say that. But it's great, and you should use it, or at least look at using it. How am I getting better ping? I swear. So I'm going to have slight item lag, but it doesn't look that bad. But this bypass is the biggest problem I have, which is occasionally getting kicked. Don't know why, but it does it. Maybe there's a slightly stable connection that I'm circumventing by doing this. Slightly unstable. My bad. But still. Anyway, a large number of people think that it actually costs a couple $1,000s to repair a broken arm, which is bad, because you got like your plaster of Paris, which costs like 20 bucks. You got the doctor's time, and that's mostly just because he's a doctor. and that's like $100 max, because it's not that hard to fix a broken arm. I mean, hell, most nurses, I'm pretty sure most nurses could do it. No, I know most nurses can do it, and that's a lot cheaper than a doctor. Oops. So yeah, then there's like pills, and then, well, there's not. So, right, so they are told it costs stupid amounts, right? So that's one of the reasons why they don't ever get it. It doesn't get better. The other reason is due to the whole, like, I guess you call it a communism scare or whatever, but they've taught, due to this being called socialized healthcare, they see social and they say, ooh, socialism, and that's just communism but with a fancy name because they're all dumb. Socialism isn't communism, for the fancy name for those who don't know. I don't. Socialism is everyone chipping in a little bit. Communism is the government says we need this. Someone needs to produce this, and people produce it. There's a fundamental difference. Communism works well in a utopian society. It really, really doesn't work well if you're not in a utopian society. It's usually ends badly, as you can see with the Soviet Union. If you're not in a utopian society, or you aren't willing to have a benevolent dictatorship. Speaking of benevolent dictatorships, do you know Singapore is a benevolent dictatorship? I know y'all are used to like seeing the word dictator and be like, ooh, North Korea, free speech oppressed, and you're right, they do technically not allow free speech, I think. But like, the free speech they don't allow is like Nazism, and Nazis are not good, and if anyone comments that they are good, I will instantly delete it because they're not good. Oops, what did I click? Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Anyway. They're also pretty much set for life because they're good like that. Alright, that's the roof done. Yeah, Singapore survived coronavirus like A-okay because they're not idiots. They actually like took it seriously. Because they're not dumb. Anyway. 54 of those. So, then there's the secondary problem of their opioid crisis. The whole war on drugs was essentially a racist thing against black people because they knew it would hurt black people. I think it was due to the how that would racially profile them and that sort of stuff. But yeah, they did it because they were all bastards. 22 carats for an emerald, eh? That's a pretty good deal. Anyway. So, you got your United States, right? They decide, well, the companies can manage the opioids themselves. The companies cannot manage the opioids themselves. They got a bunch of people addicted to them on purpose, and are essentially, and then charge exorbitant amounts of it. They also decided, wait a second. If we don't charge insane amount, we can charge in. Wait a second. People need epinephrine. That's being the artificial version of adrenaline. It's what you have in EpiPens. They went, wait a second. We can charge through the nose for epinephrine. And they can't say no, because otherwise they'll die. Wow, what a great idea, they say, as they, like, I don't know, do something horribly stereotypically evil. Like, I don't know, beat children or something. Maybe, like, plan to screw over homeless people? I don't know. Essentially, they went, wait a second, we can charge people insane amounts of money for life-saving services. And they have to buy it, because otherwise they'll die. What a great idea. So that's that's essentially how their companies are run. So they figured we could do that, and then they went, wait, I have another brilliant idea. What if we get a bunch of people addicted to our really expensive drugs for no reason? So, a bunch of people got addicted to really expensive drugs. Not like heroin or something, though. We're talking stuff like retail drugs. So they have to pay more or they're going to shock. Then they stripped the whole... They've made drugs seem like a disease instead of... Not a disease, a crime? I don't know. Essentially, they really messed everything up pretty much on purpose. It's disgusting, but hey. Now I need which one is the Mr. Potion Brewer. No, not you. Oh, it's bigger out here. Cool. It's just horrible. But I can't do too much about it. So back away from terrible things, I think. Back onto something more light. Alright, dude, last time, oh man, I talked about, you know what? I can talk about particle physics again. I might have talked about it once, but that recording was lost. Particle physics. Alright. This is a really neat thing I wanted to talk about, but I got sidetracked a bunch and completely messed it up. But hey, that's just how things be, right? Anyway. One of the greatest ideas I've ever had is to make an electric car is to make an electric car, right? Those things are awesome. They're super cheap when it comes to running them. They are very environmentally friendly if you can get the right fuel, if you can get the right electricity from the right place, but that's already one step forward. You're no longer being a direct contributor, you're being a secondary contributor, and that's always better. So I thought, you know what's better than an electric vehicle? An electric vehicle that never has to be recharged ever. And people were like, that's not possible, that you have to recharge it, otherwise, like, you'll run out of energy. And I said, you know what, no, I don't want to do that. RTG. See, if you made a electric vehicle, but then you made, instead of, like, making it a different size, you kept the, like, normal size of a, like a car or something, or a truck. You could go and fit instead of fitting a, I don't know, another extra storage compartment, you could fill that place with an RTG, which is a very fancy, very useful generator. RTG is short for radioisotope thermoelectric generator. These things are just the best. They allow you to put in like a kilogram of uranium or something. Oh no, my shovel's gone. Man, I had a great shovel and now it's gone, isn't it? Probably irreversibly gone or something. I probably like accidentally threw it into lava for something stupid. God, sometimes I hate... Wait, no, I probably just put it upstairs. I'm an idiot. Anyway, so I'm thinking here, right? Alright. Radioisotope generators, they're not that hard to build. Sure, they require like uranium or americanium or plutonium or polonium. but they're not that hard to make, right? Right? So I think then, wait a second, where am I supposed to get all these super rare and very much illegal substances? Because you can't buy just uranium anywhere. You can't go up to your friendly black market or uranium dealer and like, hello, good sir, I am interested in your stocks of uranium, and not have the police instantly called on you. So I went, wait a second, you know, it'd be really nice if we could just create matter, because, well, it's all really just made out of what? Protons, electrons, and neutrons. So why can't we make more? And I realized, well, there's no reason we can't. In fact, it's always being done in the hearts of stars. And with fusion coming online, suddenly that gets a lot more reasonable. Anyway. So, I go, I need to make one of these. This is just not nearly as good as my rant on my original rant, but hey, I'll punch through it. Well, how could I make this? I could make it using fusion, maybe, but that's expensive and the technology's not there yet. So that's when I came to realize the wonderful, wonderful world of atomic synthesis. Now, this is very little research done into it. We're talking like most of it's Star Trek levels of research. There's pretty much nothing done here. So we take, what we do is I'm sorry. So I was thinking, well, how can I make more matter? And then I realized, wait a second, why am I sitting here like a silly person puzzling this out? It's already been done. It happened once before. Hell, it even happened once before, like, in recent history, like within the last 200 years. That being, of course, the Chernobyl nuclear meltdown. See, Chernobyl, for those of you who do not know what Chernobyl was a nuclear fission reactor in Chernobyl. It produced power to the town. Unfortunately, something happened, and it had a big meltdown. And to those of you who know who have had like siblings have meltdowns, generally not all that good. So Chernobyl had a meltdown. That was very bad, and it had to go. Everything had to be purged, essentially. But we recently did some studies on it, right? And aside from covering something that I'm gonna actually really cover later, because this stuff is awesome. The stuff I'm about to say, some other stuff I just really remembered is awesome. Aside from all that, they found a very thin layer of gold. That might not seem like too much of a big deal. It's just a little, and it wasn't that big of a deal because it was only like a couple atoms thick. But it was gold, where there should have been no gold. So naturally, everyone was very confused and quite interested in figuring out more. I don't know what ever happened to that wanting to figure out more. But I suspect it went something along the lines of, we want to figure out more. Okay, no funding. But because that's just how things are, I found. Ah, damn it. There we go. So, I'm thinking, wait a second. This was a byproduct of something that was supposed to produce energy, not create matter. So, what happens if we make something whose purpose is to create matter rather than energy? We input a buttload of energy, the whole E equals mc squared equation, and we get out a bunch of energy. Okay, so unfortunately, I don't have a degree in theoretical physics. And I don't know exactly how to do that, but essentially what you'd have to do, but from what I can figure out online from just research, is you'd have to go make something called a Bose-Einstein condensate. See, Bose-Einstein condensates are special. Not Bose-Einstein condensate. You'd have to make a really big mistake. Quark gluon plasma, that's the word, that's the word. Quark gluon plasma. A quark gluon plasma is a super, super, super hot, super dense plasma. You can usually, from what I can remember, I think you can find them in some rather common places, like the hearts of neutron stars. The very beginning of the universe. You know, common vacation areas near you. Barely have to travel at all. If you can't tell, I'm being heavily facetious, and if you can't tell I'm being heavily facetious, there's a bigger issue, but yeah. They're not exactly common as one would think of them. But they're common enough. But it's common enough that we can get away with using it, because we can make it. Yes, we can make this super matter. Because what would science be without the ability to make super matter? So this stuff, right, is essentially the building blocks of the universe. When it cools down, it'll cool down into something depending on its energy state. See, it'll always cool things that don't want to wait to combine. It's not going to wait 13. How to say? It's not going to wait longer to make uranium when it could make hydrogen, which is just like the most basic thing you can get. It's quite literally like one of each. So most things will break down into hydrogen. So you have to continue to fuse them, which means you have to heat stuff up into a fusion forge, essentially. Or at least what I call a fusion forge. You have to heat stuff up really, really, really hot. And keep it under high pressure until it finally fuses. Then, when you get to the right stage of fusion, you just take it out, you know? Boom, boom, job done, we're good here. Once again, the problem becomes rather obvious if you know exactly how hot it has to be, and the answer to that is extremely hot. But that's not too big of a deal for science. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Now, this has been bugging me, and this is really, really, really cool. Mushrooms. You like them on your pizza, people like to smoke them, right? One of the biggest problems astronauts have with, well, being in space, or really any area of space, being it on other planets or elsewhere, is it's really, really radioactive. Like, it's really radioactive. As such, you can get cancer really easily if you don't put like a huge amount of shielding that wears down extremely quickly. However, once again in Chernobyl, they found something useful. They found mushrooms. These mushrooms are very special because unlike normal shrooms, these guys eat radiation. They literally will just eat radiation. It's a different version of photosynthesis, right? They'll eat gamma radiation, I think it is. Well, they'll eat most types of radiation. It's a more broad spectrum version of photosynthesis essentially. What this means is that we can cover our spaceships with this stuff in this growing layer of essentially armor against radiation, and it'll just grow, right? It doesn't care about anything like heat or temperature or how long that burrito's been sitting there for. It doesn't care. So it'll grow, and it doesn't really require anything other than radiation and water. So that means you can get this essential outer layer, and it only needs to, and it can be as thick as you want it to be. But the impressive thing is, because it's a mushroom, it also means that it's able to grow in places that aren't directly exposed to sunlight. So you could essentially wrap a spaceship in fungus, and it would heal from shots, or rather, micrometeor strikes and everything. So not only is it almost 100% effective at blocking and absorbing radiation, it can also act as regenerating armor, which is just insane. Because once again, micrometeorites. You don't have to deal with micrometeorites. Has another problem knocked off the list for being in space. Now, we haven't yet found out how edible they are. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're not edible. Or at least not good to eat. But it still means that this still means that you could make all sorts of amazing things with it. Up to including biomass generators using this stuff, because it'll probably put off heat, and it'll also probably be able to be burned, or at least put into a biomass generator. And that means you could go and just run a low amount of fuel off of something that's literally just based off the radiation outside. It's amazing. It's great. The problem is that it does take water, and water's heavy, heavy, heavy. So that's a problem. You know what? I just realized we've mostly been talking about like theoretical inventions and other such things. You know, I think that's our topic for today. It's been what? I don't know. It's been 30 minutes, and I've finally figured out our topic. We're going to be talking about inventions. Why am I being shot at? Another very cool invention that I've come up with personally, with some input from people, is a steam-powered snowblower. See, the problem with snowblowers, right, is they're gas-powered, and I'm trying to figure out ways around using gasoline, because it's not very good for the environment, it's expensive, so it's bad. But you know what's not bad? Steam energy. Or rather, electric-based steam energy. See, steam power requires two things: a source of heat and a source of water. Now, with snowplows, it's pretty obvious where the water is. You just take the snow and expose it to the source of heat, and suddenly you're good to go. The problem comes in with the this is annoying. The problem comes in not with the source of water, which as we know, very easy. You can see it first there. And we can see the next one. Let's just do it every like this. Alright. So, for our source of energy, we are once again gonna use water. You may be wondering, how can you use water to power something? It's pretty much fuelless. I mean, sure, you could do something with with fusion, but I highly doubt they have. But the fusion engines they have so far are like the sizes of tennis courts. Or rather, the fusion reactors they have so far are the size of tennis courts. Huh. I say not to worry, good friend. Water is made out of hydrogen and oxygen, both of which can be burned. Although, let me think about this. We have to have a loss, otherwise we won't get the energy out of it. If you had a lossless equation, you'd just get free energy, and that never works out because there's always a source of energy. It's one of the fundamental laws of physics. No free energy, pretty much. So, I was wondering, so actually, how would this work? So we need something to... Let me think. Alright, so, the input would be the water into an electrolyzer, which would then burn the hydrogen and burn the oxygen. But no, no, that's not right. You have to burn, you have to remix it into oxyhydrogen instead of just hydrogen. Otherwise, you'd just get... Because oxygen itself isn't a flammable. It's an oxide. It's one of the things fire requires to burn, but it's not the only thing it needs. It needs a fuel. It's the wrong part of it. Luckily, hydrogen's highly flammable. And will care just perfectly if you light it on fire. It doesn't complain at all if you light it on fire. So, I suppose... Yeah, if you make it into an oxyhydrogen mix, which is essentially just break it apart and recombine it. So, what we do is we have the snow go into the steam engine, into the snow plow, right? It then gets turned into water by a heating element. The heating element is powered by a hydrogen-oxygen reaction, which is then the hydrogen and oxygen is provided by a electrolyzer that's being powered by a regeneratable hydrogen fuel cell, being powered by the hydrogen and then going for a little bit, and it's being used to melt this more snow, right? It should be efficient enough, if you get it right, to keep going indefinitely so long as there's snow applied to it. Plus a little extra due to the hydrogen fuel cell. Though, if instead of... I'm thinking a steam engine once again, right? Instead of electric motor. Only instead of going and stopping when it comes to... Yeah, so we got a steam engine. It's like my brain is going into like super fast mode and super slow mode at the same time. Alright, so we power the steam engine using a heating element powered by a hydrogen fuel cell. We have some of the snow being intaked by the snowplow just be melted down and put into a into a thing. Wish I could see numbers on the ground. I don't have the right plug-in. The other half goes into the steam boiler. The other half is broken down to oxygen and hydrogen. The oxygen just gets released again. The hydrogen gets wait, no. The oxygen and hydrogen both get pumped into the hydrogen fuel cell. It should be efficient enough to both power the electrolyzer and move it forward and a heating element. Because we're constantly supplying more energy. We constantly have a source of water. You'd have to do pure water electrolysis, which is a bit more inefficient, and you'd require some fancy semi-permeable membranes, stuff like that. But it wouldn't be impossible. So yeah, so long as you focus not on English. So long as you don't focus on the wrong part of it, it's completely possible. But the focus is not to power it using the electrolyzer, but to power it using a hydrogen fuel cell, which is being regenerated with the electrolyzer. I need to... So yeah, mobs are going to spawn all over the place now, but we can go to here, here, light 8. So there. Do somewhere there. But yeah. This is fun. Completely possible. Now, I've ranted about that for a while. I'm probably going to... This is going to be a suckier stream than usual. I'm just not in the vibe, you know? I've been yawning a lot and everything, and that's just not good. Don't really have a focus other than making this either, which isn't good. Not having a focus is generally not productive to a interesting and engaging stream. Hopefully, I'm gonna keep going though. Might as well. I'm an idiot, but that's not new. Let's see. How is this one? Still at 89%. Uh-oh, 90% load. Man. It'd be useful if people would give me money so I could, like, buy a subscription to a VPN. Alright, so, I think we're going to do the staircase next. Maybe put some nice walls around here. What do you think? Blackstone or this blue stuff? Or warped fungus? Blackstone or warped fungus? I'm thinking Blackstone, because that just stuff looks nice. My question is, do we make a landing here with the... going out to there? Or do we just make it open? Let's make it open. That's always nice. Open is good. So. Fix that out a little bit. Now we need to do these stairs. And we need to do the other stuff. So blackstone, lots and lots of blackstone. That's what I need. Yes, in that case, it's time to go netherite mining, or not netherite mining. Time to go to the nether, though. Wait. Hopefully this will cut down on the amount of bad things spawning constantly in my base. I just realized, wait, no, is this the first time I've gone up here on stream? I don't think so. Isn't that just an awesome mob farm? Like, it's just amazing. Look at what I've brought us. You see, just up in the top. People have been pillaring up instead of being like decent people and putting back the climbable stuff, but hey, that's just how people are. Someone's feeling like an asshole today. Wow. Real mature. Climbing upwards. I clap. Okay, so there's another mine over there. See, I am going to go back into my little netherite mine. And I'm going to go and do some quartz mining as well as blackstone mining, because they're both really a bunch over there. Provided I don't nosedive into magma first. See, the thing about quartz is that it gives you more XP than it takes to more durability. It gives you more durability back on a mending sword, on a mending item than it takes to break it. Oh, look, blackstone. Nice. You always find lots of the stuff in an inconvenient place when you're just looking for netherite. But when you're not looking for netherite and you're just like looking for it normally, you'll never find it. So you mark it on your map and then it can't escape you. Or well, you remember where it is. Maybe you write down the coordinates in like a handbook. I had like a text file where I was writing down all the coordinates on this server for a while before I realized I can do better, and I just downloaded mods because like mods are better. Like always better for this sort of stuff. Then that gives you visual representations and everything. Isn't that great? Polished blackstone. We'll leave it at polished blackstone. I think it's blackstone brick stairs, but I don't remember exactly. So there we go. We're gonna mine this for a little bit longer. I'm thinking of doing like a blackstone brick wall around the blackstone brick wall around the stairway up. Then what can I do for the roof? Honestly, I want to also completely encase the mob farm. That would look cool. I'm torn on making it a rhombus or like, you know, I might be able to cut the difference, and instead of making it either things that is actually a smart or good or nice decision, make it a circle. That sounds cool. That sounds resource intensive and actually painful, but also very impressive to do. So that's how I've been measuring my achievements. How impressive and how hard is it for other people to do? Because I'm bored. And I have like literally no life. As such, I don't really care if it's gonna like take forever, because forever is only a little bit of time. Also, it's always nice to have extra that. Oh, joys of the joys of trying to keep an audience entertained while I mine in Minecraft without really doing much. Hmm. What to talk about? There's just not much to talk about, honestly. So as such, I think I'm just gonna go silent and start mining. That'll probably help me think. Considering this like an ASMR where I hum music into your ears. Yep, I've been this way, alright. Yep, there we go. This is about where I started actually mining nether quartz instead of going and just letting it sit there, because I remembered that, hey, it's really efficient to mine nether quartz. Yes, the joys of just pointlessly running in a direction until I get the resources I need slash want. I can feel my audience retention dropping already. There we go. I need more quartz anyway. Need to fix my walls, and a large number of them are just made out of quartz. Yeah, this is gonna be a real slow stream, I think. Not that many people on, because it's like, what, a Monday? Yeah, it's a Monday. Nobody's on Mondays. Because they're just getting back to school and all that. All that jazz. I'm probably only able to stream today because I'm 4 hours ahead of the rest of the people here. I live on the other side of the country from most of the people from my school, so get away with stuff like this.
Are you ancient debris mining?
What? No, I'm nether quartz mining because my axe was getting low. Also, I needed nether quartz.
Where?
But yeah, this has been so far a really slow stream. I talked about some interesting topics, some stuff like matter synthesis or like steam-powered snow blowers. There's an idea I had for like a couple other interesting things, but nothing too cool. Yay for slow streams, I guess. Maybe you'll see something interesting. Maybe something interesting will happen. That'd be nice. Something I could talk about, you know? Cause just sitting here tapping spacebar isn't nearly as interesting as it could be if I like had another reason to sit here and tap spacebar without like caring all that much. But I don't. Hey, let's head this way. Yeah, it's been an hour already. I might go and start up the stream sometime else. No real reason not to. I don't think I can pause this actually. Well, let's see if I can pause it. Do. Tools. Titled settings. Let's see. Pause recording. Let's make that F7. Oops. Actually subtract that. F7 on both of them. Apply. Okay. In that case, see you all hopefully later. That probably didn't work, did it? I don't think that worked. Damn, that's what I get for using one-liners, you know? And I'll just splice these together. Who cares? Ending